Hello everyone, it has been a very long time since I've done a vinyl related video, and I thought, well, someone must have come up with a vinyl tag by now. It's February and, you know, everyone's settled into the new year, kind of. So I went on YouTube, typed in vinyl tag 2022, and I found a vinyl tag video. I'm going to credit Noble Records for this tag. I found it through his video, so you can check that out as well if you haven't already seen it, Vinyl Community. But I'm going to do my own one today because I'm at home and I've got all my records here. I've got so many records at this point that when I was trying to find certain records, I couldn't find them. And there's one album in this pile that I'm going to talk about that genuinely took me about 45 minutes to find, only to find it in my shelf. I thought it was going to be in one of my crates that I've got at the bottom here, but it wasn't. It was in the shelf. It wasn't in the right place as well, so that's probably why it took me a long time to find it. I'll explain when I get to it. So this is the Vinyl Tag 2022. I'm very excited. I love talking about vinyl. I haven't talked about vinyl in a long time on this channel. Yeah, merch. If you haven't got yourself Prog Nerd merch, get yourself to the merch website. It's in the link. It's always in the link in the description. I'm making more of an effort to plug it in the videos now because it's cool merch. Who wouldn't want it? If you like cats, if you like prog, if you like music, you'll like the t-shirt. Yeah, definitely check that one out. Talking of vinyl, we have a Discogs store still to this day, Mubu Records. That is also in the link in the description if you want to find yourself a nice gift for someone or a gift for yourself or whatever. We've got plenty of vinyl for you. Another warning, we have more building works going on outside. It's always whenever I want to film a video, there's building works going on outside. So I've shut in the windows as much as I could so that there wouldn't be as much noise, but there's a really annoying beeping sound and I'm so sorry about that. Occasionally it stops, but then it starts again. It's very annoying because I think they're trying to build a house around that side of the street. That's an annoyingly long intro. Let's begin. And it stopped. And it started again. First point is your favourite album that you bought in 2021. So this just means just album in general, I assume. So my favourite album that I picked up last year was Talking Heads' Remain in Light, and there is a story as to why this is my favourite that I picked up last year amongst all the prog rock albums that I bought last year. When I was getting into New Wave, which was in the second half of 2021, I fell in love with this album in particular, as well as like The Police and stuff like that, but this album in particular I really had a feeling for. And I was going online, I was going on Discogs, I was going on eBay, and I was trying to find myself a nice copy of the album, but I couldn't find a copy that was under £20 or £25. I was going to record stores everywhere. When I moved to Brighton, I was going to all the record stores in the local area and trying to find this album. I went to a HMV in Brighton, if you live in Brighton, the Churchill Square HMV. I went in there. No, it wasn't Churchill Square, actually. That's a lie. I found it in Worthing, which is the town next to Brighton, in the HMV, and I found it. And I found it for 15 quid. I know I was meant to be saving money. I was meant to be saving my student loan, but I needed it. I'd been looking for it for months, so I bought it. And that is why it is my favourite album that I've purchased of 2021, because it was one that I'd actively been looking for months. And I finally have it, and the satisfaction of finding an album that you wanted for months is the greatest feeling ever. Point number 2, show the record you spent the most money on in 2021. My one was this. This is the Brain Salad Surgery Deluxe Edition, right? I spent a good 75 quid on this, and this was when I was like really into ELP, like at the beginning of the year, and I had no idea that there was a deluxe version of this album until I saw a YouTube video about it. So I went on Discogs, and this was the only one in the UK, so I decided to pick it. The floor is shaking. The roadworks are way too close to where we live. But this is the most expensive one that I personally picked up this year. My dad's will probably be very different, but this is mine. 75 quid. Well spent. One of my favourite albums ever. I don't know if I've actually talked about this in a video, but it's a very cool box set actually. It's got the album. I think it's got some outtakes and stuff like that in there as well. Some posters, some 7-inch singles, whatever you want to see in an Emerson, Lake and Palmer Deluxe Edition. Great album, great box set, and it's very nicely protected in here. Very cool. Number 3, an album by the first person, band, artist, whatever, that you saw live. I can't do this one properly because the first band I saw live was Bring Me the Horizon back in 2016. I no longer own any Bring Me the Horizon records. I grew out of their music. A lot of the first bands that I saw live, I don't own any of their records anymore, any of their CDs. I gave them all away or sold them, whatever. So the first one that I actually have, that I do have to show, is Metallica. I saw Metallica in 2017 for the first time. I've seen them twice. I saw them in 2017 and I saw them at Twickenham Stadium in 2019 as well. Great band. Love Metallica. I don't really care what people have to say. They are a really great band in my opinion. This is my personal favourite Metallica record. It has been for years now. One of the greatest albums of all time. And R.I.P. Cliff, one of my favourite bassists of all time. Probably one of the first bassists that got me to play the bass alongside Chris Squire and Geddy Lee. He was probably the first one, I think. Because when I first listened to For Whom the Bell Tolls, I thought the intro was a guitar, but it's not. It's a bass guitar. So I thought that was very cool. So Metallica, saw them in 2017. That is the first album I can show of a band that I've seen live, or the first band that I saw live. So this one was very difficult, and unfortunately I don't have an album to show for this one. Because all the newer artists that I have in my collection all formed probably in like the mid-2000s and so on. That is like the latest. So I don't know if I have an album to show for this one, but the point was show a record by a brand new band / artist that I got in 2021, and unfortunately I cannot show one. Once upon a time I was, but unfortunately, to a lot of people's dismay, I cannot show one. I was looking for hours, what felt like hours, I was looking for a while, for an album, but the closest thing I can show you is probably Tame Impala. That is probably the latest album that I can show from a newer act of this millennium. But this is his latest album, Slow Rush, that came out actually a few years ago now, but I got it last year. I really like Tame Impala, so this is going to be this one. Sorry if I answered the question incorrectly, but this is all I can show for this particular point. Number 5, an album that I still have in the shrink wrap. The Record Store Day version of The Magician's Birthday by Uriah Heep. This is the alternate artwork. This is up for sale in our store. Talking of my Discog store at the beginning, my cat is lying on the floor. That's quite cute actually. I had a very scared moment because it didn't look like she was breathing. But she's just chilling out there. So, The Magician's Birthday by Uriah Heep. This is still in the shrink wrap, and it is still available for people to buy if you wish to buy it. This is the Record Store Day exclusive, and I believe it's on a fun coloured vinyl. There we go, galaxy coloured vinyl. If you want it, go get it. Number 6, a concept album. I was looking right at me in front of me here, which is like my middle shelf. And the first one that took my eye was Elam. I am really messing up my album titles today. Not only did it take me 45 minutes to find an album, but now I'm messing up the titles of albums that I really like. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by Genesis. It was the first one that I saw alongside 3 friends and also Thick as a Brick, but I thought because this is the first one in line. Great album. It's a great double album as well. And I have talked about this album on my channel before. I did a video with notes reviews actually talking about this album. If you have not checked out that video, I will link it somewhere around here. Go watch it. It was a great time. We had a great chat about the album and it is a fantastic album, so check it out. I don't think I need to say check it out to a Genesis album because a lot of my viewers probably are already familiar with the albums, but just in case you're new here, check it out. So number 7 is show a record you love but you haven't given much love to as of late. And I'm going to go back to Emerson, Lake and Palmer again. I love this album. I love this album a lot. In fact, it's one of my favourite albums ever. I've said that about loads of them so far, but it doesn't matter. I love this album. But I haven't really been giving too much love to ELP as of late because I've been listening to a bunch of different stuff, but I always come back to this album when I'm feeling a bit down or feeling like a bit of ELP, feeling in the mood for ELP. I need to revisit their discography because I am seeing Cole Palmer in a couple of months' time, so I really got to catch up on my ELP listening because I was listening to them so much at the beginning of last year. I'm shocked that they didn't come up in my Spotify Wrapped 2021. This is a great album and I should give it a bit more love because it is a fantastic album. I just tripped over. Number 8, show a live album. First one I saw, this is the Record Store Day. Police Volume 1. This is Boston 1979. Don't try and claim the code. I've already claimed it. This is a really great live album. I listened to this one quite a lot, and it's actually on blue vinyl, but I'm not gonna get it out because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered to. But if you own it, you know that it's on blue vinyl. I actually have both of them. I got the second one recently, the one that was from, I think, 1983. The red one. Yeah, it has the same cover, but it's red rather than blue. Love The Police, as you can probably imagine. A lot of people pick up on the fact that I talk very quickly, but that's just what happens when I talk about things that I really like. I just tend to talk quickly. So I'm sorry about that. An album from a different continent. The thing is, a lot of the stuff on my shelf is from one continent, and that is Europe. But I found Rush. Rush are not from Europe. Great album. Not from my continent, but great album. This is a very interesting one, and it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to include for this one. And the prompt is, show the most out of your comfort zone record that you got in the past year. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. Deja Vu. This isn't the kind of record I'd usually listen to. In fact, I was very hesitant to listen to it because I'm not really big into country and folk that sounds too country-ish. But I listened to this and I was pleasantly surprised, so I got it. And I really enjoyed it a lot. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, let me know in the comments. But I really enjoyed this album a lot, and I'm glad I listened to it. The next prompt is show a punk/new wave album. I'm going to show Talking Heads again. This is the first Talking Heads record, Talking Heads 77. Bet you can't guess when this album was released. My punk albums are currently hidden away in a crate somewhere, so Talking Heads was the first one, or The Police, but I'd already pulled out a Police album. But then again, I'd also pulled out a Talking Heads album. I don't know, I'm confusing myself now. Number 12 is show a jazz record. This is the story I'm gonna tell about how it took me well over half an hour to look for this album. Bitches Brew by Miles Davis. YouTube, please don't strike me because I said that word. So, I thought this album was downstairs initially because all of our jazz records, and well, in particular Miles Davis records, are all downstairs. So I went downstairs, couldn't find it anywhere. I only found Kind of Blue, which was not the one I was looking for. That was going to be my second choice, but I was trying to find something that was in my room. So I thought, well, that means this has to be in my room somewhere. And I was checking all the crates, couldn't find it because I got this album fairly recently, in the past maybe 6 months, and I do a very stupid and dumb thing. Whenever I get a new record, I just kind of leave it like here. I'll just leave it leaning up against there, and then my mum will move it somewhere and I will not find it for ages. And that's what happened with this one. I could not find this album for half an hour, only to find it next to my Rush albums. Stupidly, it ended up next to my Rush albums when Davis doesn't start with an R. It's the same with my Wishbone Ash records are also next to my Rush records. My plan for today is to just completely sort out this room and sort out all my records and stuff. But Bitches Brew, this is my jazz album pick. Great album. It was definitely a bitch to look for. No pun intended. Number 13, a soundtrack. I'm not really much of a soundtrack person, personally. I don't really buy a lot of soundtracks. One album that I do like the soundtrack of, and I like the film of, is Trainspotting, the first one. Not T2, the first one, with all the cool 90s tracks on it. Great soundtrack. And that's Molly's cue to leave the room. Right, next, an album without any writing on the sleeve. Pretty obvious pick, but Atom Heart Mother by Pink Floyd. Not even on the back either. It's just a cow. It's a cow chilling out. Number 15, a coloured album. Or coloured album? Coloured vinyl. The first one that was in front of me was the new Yes album, actually. I was going to pick up that Uriah Heep one, but I had already used it in that one. If you'd like to hear my thoughts on this album, let me know. Because I have listened to it. I've given it a thorough listen. A few listens, actually. I'm not going to give anything away. But if you do want to hear a review of this album from me personally, let me know down below. Here is the album. It's not coloured per se, but it's glow in the dark, and that is very cool. Yeah. Never owned a glow in the dark album before, so it is very cool, and it looked very cool on the turntable because I switched the light off while I was listening to it. It was just glowing and spinning around. It was so cool. I get very easily amused by those kind of things. Show your pride dig of 2021. Another prompt that I was kind of stumped on because I didn't really understand what a pride dig meant initially, but then I used my brain and figured out that it meant something that I'm proud of, because that's what pride means. I thought initially it meant like show like an LGBT artist or something like that, because it had pride in the name. I guess it's just something to be proud of. I would have shown both, but I guess I'll show this one. So this is my proudest dig of last year. I got this in Camden Market with Yoan, I believe, and it was not cheap. If you see what it is, it was worth every bloody penny. This is the sessions between and during the Wish You Were Here and Animals sessions, my favourite era of Pink Floyd. It is a bootleg, however, it is a very high quality bootleg. We listened to it and it has, you know, outtakes and different versions of the album and stuff like that. I mean, we listened to Dogs, the version that's on here. It's not 17 minutes on this one, it's 13. But it was so interesting to hear, like, this is what my favourite album could have sounded like, because Animals is my all-time favourite album, just ever. So I had to pick it up, and it was great to listen to with Yoan when we bought it. Number 17 is show a record from a band from the past. That's very easy for me. But that I totally bypassed until recently. So what's an album I ignored until recently? Yeah, this album is really good, but I just didn't listen to it for months, and my dad was badgering me to listen to it for ages, and for a good reason. I'm so annoyed that it took me so long to listen to it, because he's been recommending me this album since I was getting into Iron Maiden, which was about 3 or 4 years ago, actually more like 5 now, so we're in 2022. When I did, I was very much impressed. It took me seeing some of the songs from this album played live by Martin Turner's Wishbone Ash in the summer of last year at the New Day Festival to enjoy and appreciate this album a lot more. It also took me that particular gig to get me into Pilgrimage as well, which is a really fantastic album that I've been getting into a lot as of recent. But this is more like in the past 6 months, 5 or 6 months, that I've been getting more into this album and this band in general. Talking of Wishbone Ash, we recently got the Vintage Years box set, but that is not here at the moment, that is in Brighton. So if you are interested in seeing that in an unboxing, please let me know, because I love doing unboxing videos. It always reminds me, oh yeah, I should listen to that. Oh yeah, that's very cool. It takes me just to talk about it. That's very silly. Show a box set is number 18. I will show you the box set that I got the most recently, which is the ABBA studio albums on vinyl. I could have shown all of these for coloured vinyl, because they're all on coloured vinyl. And I thought I'd just switch up the tone a little bit, because, you know, I could just pull out a prog box set, but that's very naive. What do I not talk about as much on this channel? My love for ABBA. I love ABBA to death. They're one of my favourite acts ever. And I think deep down everyone loves ABBA. I just think a lot of people are just ashamed to admit that they like ABBA. But we all know that they're great songwriters and great musicians. We all know that. Listen to the deep cuts on each album. You don't need to listen to Dancing Queen ever again. You don't need to listen to Mamma Mia ever again. But just listen to the deep cuts on all these albums, because they're all so good. Number 19. Show your coolest or / favourite cover art of 2021, or one that you got that year. So I'll show one that I got this year rather than one that came out last year. Sorry, one that I got last year. My bad. Oodoo Woodoo by Magma. Someone pointed out recently that I said the name of this album wrong. Could you please tell me how to pronounce it if I'm saying it wrong? Because Magma titles are not easy to pronounce, so I am trying my hardest out here. But this is a really fantastic album. And the cover art, I love the Magma cover art. I just love prog rock artwork in general. I could have pulled out absolutely anything. I could have pulled out a King Crimson record, or an Emerson Lake Palmer, or a whatever Rush album. I was thinking of pulling out a Marillion one, but I didn't. But I pulled out this one. This was released in 1976, I believe, and what a fantastic album and album artwork. The very last prompt on our list here is show a record that I got as a present, or VCLT in 2021. I don't know what VCLT means. I can assume that VC stands for vinyl community, but the LT, I have no idea. So I'll show one that I got as a present. I'm kind of cheating a bit, because I had my birthday almost a month ago, more like 2 weeks ago actually. So I got this in 2022. I'll show it anyway, and that is Living in the Material World by George Harrison. I wanted to switch up the tone of the video again, because, you know, I don't need to show a prog album for each and every one. This is a great album. I love George Harrison. a lot. He's my favourite Beatle. I got a George Harrison CD set recently as well. Again, if you want me to talk about that, let me know in the comments. And that completes my video for today. Thank you guys for watching. As I said, merch links in the description. Go check them out. Go check them out. I know I don't talk about it as much, but definitely check it out. Discogs link in the description if you want to buy anything for yourself, family, whatever, friends. I'm hoping to get a Saturdays with Dad out this week as well, while I'm here. And yeah, so another thing, I'm so sorry that I said I was going to upload more, because in the last week it's been kind of hectic with university and stuff like that, but I'm trying to get myself to post one video a week, just to start with. Even if it's here or in Brighton, just a video a week. And if I'm here, it's going to be something vinyl related. And if I'm in Brighton, it'll be something CD-ish related or more chatty orientated, because over there I've got all my CDs and stuff. So I got the Caravan Who Do You Think You Are box set recently. If you would like an unboxing of that, please let me know, because I love that box set so much. I've been listening to so much of it. That concludes my video for today. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!